Hi everyone and welcome back to Carp Catch TV. As you can see from the intro, we are heading back to France. If you've watched any of our videos, you will see that we've been to France in the past. Last time out we fished Angels Lake. We had a tricky week's fishing but ended up catching some really good fish and smashed our PBs. If you're new to the channel, go check out the Angels Lake video because it's definitely worth a watch. So this time out we're heading to a place called Jurassica 2. Joining me on this trip is Mike, John and Peng. Like all of these trips, they are booked a year in advance, but with the wait finally over, our van's fully loaded and a long journey ahead of us, it was time to hit the road. After a 5-hour drive, we arrived at the ferry port of Dover. We were slightly ahead of schedule, so we had an hour to kill. After stretching our legs, it was time to jump back in the vans and drive on board. Once on the ship, we headed to the duty free. As we were away for a week, we stocked up on some supplies and got some drinks. With the sea being so calm, the ferry felt really smooth. It was such a nice day outside that we sat up on deck and had a cheeky beer. Before we knew it, we were in Calais. The lake was still another 2.5 hours drive away, so we wasted no time and hit the road. So after a very long journey, we finally arrived at the lake. We were definitely tired, but after seeing how nice the lake looked, we were all buzzing. More good news was coming our way though. When Mike booked the lake, we were sharing with another group of anglers. This wasn't a problem as the lake is plenty big enough. The good news for us though is that the group cancelled last minute, meaning the 4 of us had the lake to ourselves, which was happy days. Throughout this video, I will give you all the info you need about this lake. I will go through some of the rules, show you our catches and share with you the tactics that we used. Welcome to Jurassica 2. This lovely lake is set in the beautiful Soissons countryside. The lake is 31 acres in size and has 8 fishable swims. There are 5 double pegs and 3 single pegs. The lake has depths that range from 2 to 12 feet deep, with a nice stock of dark carp that reach over 70 pounds in weight. There are gravel bars, plateaus, island, weed beds and overhanging trees. Plenty of features to test your skills and keep you interested. When we arrived at the lake, we met up with Sonny the bailiff. Sonny gave us a welcome beer and took us for a lap of the lake, showing us all the different swims. It was clear to see that one end of the lake was shallow and the opposite end was deep, with the middle of the lake having a mixture of depths. You could see carp cruising all over the shallow end, enjoying the sunny weather and loving the weed beds. After seeing all the swims available, we decided to pick 2 double pegs and fish in pairs. Me and Peng had first choice and chose the centre of the lake. I had the right side of the peg, fishing in the shallow water. I planned to fish with 3 rods, putting 2 together on a clear spot I found in the middle, and 1 rod fishing towards the weed beds where the carp had been cruising all day. Peng also planned to fish with 3 rods, putting 2 out in front of him in holes in the weed, and 1 in the left side margin fishing the deeper water. John and Mike chose to fish in the deep end of the lake on the point swim, both fishing with 3 rods spread out in between the weed beds. After setup was complete, it was time to head back down to the clubhouse. As we had paid for the food package, our breakfast and tea were made for us by Sonny, and let me tell you, that man can cook. Our first meal was an amazing roast dinner. So after all of the travelling, walking the lake, choosing the pegs and setting up camp, I was done in, so I decided not to fish the first night. Instead, I decided to catch up on some sleep and get to work first thing in the morning. I did find some spots though, and I decided to bait up each one with a handful of boilies. Hopefully, this would bring some of the fish into my area. As we woke up on the first morning by the lake, The only sound you could hear was the birds singing. The sun was shining and the crystal clear water was full of life. It was a perfect start to the day. The rods were finally out fishing and we didn't have to wait long to get into our first fish. Well, look at that. Literally my rod was in 2 minutes.
You know what?
And it went. And then literally about 3 minutes after that, pengs went as well. So it was absolute carnage for the first morning. You know what it's like with the first fish as well. Everything's hectic. 34.5 pounds. What a start to a great session.
Not too shabby for the first fish. 36 on the nose.
New PB?
New PB.
There you go.
I know. Made up with that bad boy. Oh. There it goes.
Right guys, I'll give you a quick update on what's happened so far. So yesterday we set off about 11:30 at night and we didn't get here till 13 hours later, so it's a long drive there, especially when you've been up all day as well. Arrived at the lake at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, French time. Had a quick walk around the lake, did the draw. We won the draw, me and Peng, so we got to choose which peg we wanted. And then tea was going to be ready for 5 o'clock. So we set up camp, looked for some spots, got the rod set up, but I just left it at that. Anyway, had the tea, I was absolutely done in then. You know, been up like almost 2 days. And we come back to the peg, put a bit of bait out and just left the lines out and tried to get to sleep. But where our peg is, like the sun was beaming on us all day and the bivvy was like a sauna. Even though you're so tired, you couldn't fall asleep until that sun had gone right down below the clouds. And then got a really good night's sleep then. Woke up fresh. And then got the rods out and literally a couple of minutes later, I was into a fish. So my plan seemed to work and I feel a lot better than I did yesterday because I ain't used to drives that long. 36, 37 hours being awake killed me like, so I ain't doing that again. Peng also got one as well, which is a new PB for him. So that's buzzing. We had a can of beer afterwards to celebrate. £36. I've got a little sneaky feeling though he's going to beat that again, so he might be getting another soak in. That's good. The weather's not as hot today as it was yesterday, which is quite nice because it was like, you couldn't get out of it yesterday. Even though we do like the sun, it was a little bit overpowering on this peg because this peg gets it for like most of the day. It's like the desert, this peg. It's overcast at the moment and I can hear a bit of rumbling in the distance, which will be a bit of thunder. So what we're going to do now is have a walk around the peg, get everything watertight. So, you know, if we do get a crazy downpour out of nowhere, stuff's not going to get wrecked. Make sure all the bivvies have got all the rain covers down because they've all got the netting on at the moment. And basically, relax, chill out and wait for that rod to go again. So as soon as I get something new, I'll update you with it. That's it. Well, I was definitely right about there being a downpour. And if you listen closely, you can hear that thunder behind me like. I'm just going to stay in the bivvies for a bit, keep out of that like. I'm sure it'll pass quite quickly, but you never know, there might be a fish in between, which means you've got to get out of there. So anyway, catch up soon. Well, just as the rain calmed down, my solid bag rod was away. At first I thought I was reeling in a ball of weed, but hidden amongst it was a little tench. He couldn't resist the smell of my baitwork sent from hell wafter. I actually catch quite a lot of tench on this method. In the distance I could hear John's alarm screaming off and he was into his first fish. I raced down there as quick as I could to try and get it all on camera. was yet another lovely dark carp. All of the fish so far have been in great condition and all over 30 pounds. Mike's rod was next to go. The fish pulled hard and took him into the deep water. This was turning out to be a great morning's fishing for everyone, all of us managing to catch. Mike had some weed on the line, so he had to be extra careful playing the fish. Trying not to bully him too much, eventually he managed to get it closer in.
Oh, that is massive. Hey, that's one of his big girls, that. Oh, hello. Look at that go. Oh my God. He's a big girl, that. Hey.
Yeah, it's a big fish that, mate.
That is a big fish. You look how big yours look in the water, John.
I know, yeah. Well behind the weed,
It is, mate. Yeah, that weed is not.
Yeah, well, let's get.
Yeah. I can see it.
You got it?
Got that.
Massive.
That is massive. That's a big carp.
Look at the size of her eye.
Jesus.
Hold on. Go. Oh. Oh my God. Oh. I want to see the scales first.
Well, that couldn't be more than £54 if you've...
54.2.
You're having a 2, are you?
Look.
Yeah, go on, 54.2.
So it's 51.2.
No, it's off.
Oh, it's off, isn't it? Yeah.
It's off, mate, it's 54.2. How you feeling, Mike?
Oh, amazing. Hey, look at the size of that bad boy.
Oh my God, look at the mouth on that. Wow. That is a creature. Well done, Mike. Stick her back, mate.
Go on, baby.
Go on, mate.
Woohoo!
Get in. So after Mike put back his fish, him and John had to reset their rods and get some bait out. I needed to do the same, so I headed back to my peg. The bait I was using was a mixture of different sized boilies. I cleared out my freezer at home and brought a few different flavours with me, consisting of Baitworks Atlantic Heat, Baitworks Royal Marine, Baitworks Cremino and Sticky Krill Active. I also had some Cremino pellet and a 25 kilo sack of Ala Aqua pellet. I'm not a one brand boiler user, but I do think Baitworks boilies are very high quality. They're full of attraction, they're soft and break down really quickly. For my solid bag rig, I used the Cremino stick mix, and my hook bait was a Scent from Hell dumbbell wafter. Right then guys, if you've got a solid bag tied ready and it's spitting, try one of these Carp Catch TV bait covers. Sorts you right out. No, I'm only joking. It's actually just the cloth to clean my bait boat, but underneath is a ready-made solid bag. But it is spitting. The last thing you want to do is start to have any dramas. Hang on a bit. Oh, Pang's in. You in, Pang? Yeah. Happy days. It's another chunk. Come on. Oh, it's a big one, that. That's a big mouth. Get in that net. Come on. Ho, ho, ho. Let's have a look at that.
Got a pair of shoulders on him, hasn't he?
That's massive. How you feeling?
Alright, mate. Yeah, sweet.
Reveal the bad boy.
Oh, sorry.
40 and a half, mate.
Yeah, sound.
Check this bad boy out. New PB, £40. Have a bit of that.
£40.6, mate.
£40.6.
What does that mean?
Go on, do it. I forgot about the bucket. Whew, get in.
Right. The hell do I get out of here?
So we couldn't have wished for a better start. Everybody was catching and we already had some really nice carp on the bank. Also, Peng managed to beat his PB not once but twice. I'm not sure he'd be so impressed though if it had knocked his fish off trying to land it one-handed. But you know, I had the camera in the other hand and I needed to film it. Right then, I will show you the rigs that I was using. I fished 2 rods on a size 6 turbo German rig using fluorocarbon as it's invisible underwater. And as you've already seen, I had 1 rod on a solid bag. The lake has a leader ban, so you have to use a tubing instead. I'm not a big fan of tubing, as in clear water it's very visible compared to fluoro leader, which is invisible. But rules are rules, and we did what was needed. Also, the lake provides you with a couple of freezers that you can use, and they are located in the shower block next to the cabin. There you will find loads of UK power sockets where you can charge up your bait boats, power packs, and any other devices that you need. In the cabin, there is a fridge that is fully loaded with beers, chocolates and soft drinks. You can buy these off Sunny, so you'll never run out of supplies.
Well, what an incredible morning. The sun was shining and there was blue sky as far as the eye could see. Throughout the night, we were welcomed multiple times, but it was to be a night of catfish. I caught 2 cats, Pen caught 1, and Mike caught 3. John did manage to catch a carp though, a 38 pounder, but unfortunately we don't have any footage. It was time for Sonny to do his morning round and deliver breakfast to our pegs. You get 3 choices to choose from: a full English breakfast, a breakfast baguette, and a continental breakfast. There's plenty of choice and they all taste great. Morning soon turned to afternoon and the rod stayed silent. There was still lots of carp in the quiet bay away from all the line pressure. Most of the fish I saw there was small, apart from the odd big one amongst them. As afternoon turned to evening, there were no fish landed. It was total different fishing from the day before, but we were still enjoying being at the lake and soaking in the sun. So it's the end of the day, guys, and apart from John's 38 pounder, not a lot has happened for me, Peng and Mike. It's been very, very quiet like. So this afternoon I decided to go down to the corner where the wind's blowing, do a bit of floater fishing. I spent about 3 hours down there actually, and I saw 1 carp take 1 freebie. And apart from that, they was not interested in floaters. Went round for tea, and then had a shower, got nice and cleaned up. And then when I come back round, I looked in all the scummy bits where the wind's blowing down towards, all the floaters are still there, like, so they're not arsed about floaters in here. So we've come back round, got the rods back out, in for the night now. The sun has not been our friend today. It's been high in the sky all day, it's been absolutely boiling, and the carp have just turned off, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it happens all the time, don't it? The sun's behind me, look, just setting over there. Put a few tunes on, and we're ready for the night. Gonna have a couple of drinks now. If anything happens, we'll keep you updated. After trying a few methods to catch all day, the carp just wasn't interested, so I decided to bring the rods in and not fish the night. It was another lovely evening, so I walked round to Mike and John's swim for a catch-up and a few drinks. On the way around, I saw a little koi pew. He was busy swimming around, looking for food and loving life. After a few drinks, Mike and John thought it was a good idea to throw some shapes and show me their moves. As the sun disappeared, it was time for me to head back to my bivvy and get some sleep.
So we hadn't had a bite all day. The weather was just too hot for the carp to want to feed. It wasn't hard to find the fish though. The shallows was full of carp. And even though I failed to catch them on floaters the day before, I decided I was going to move pegs and get down there first thing in the morning.
With all my gear set up on my new peg, I decided to only fish 2 rods and not make too much disturbance. With plenty of carp in the area, using a bait boat, I placed my rigs in holes in the weed. I was expecting a quick bite, but it actually took 3 hours until my rod was finally away.
Carp number 2 for Mr. Willis.
There you go.
And we've got a nice common first one of the session. So
What was it, 24?
24 and a half.
24 and a half, yeah. Nice common out there, isn't it?
Lovely fish.
It's stocky. It's definitely worth the move. And in the sunshine at midday, can't argue with that, can you?
With the weather being another hot sunny day, we knew the fishing would be slow again, so we decided to head down to the local bar. We were halfway through our holiday, so it was good to have a catch up and pick each other's brains.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
After having a few drinks, it was time to head back down to the lake, just in time for another tasty meal.
Well, what another lovely meal courtesy of Sonny. It was just what we needed after having a few afternoon beers in town. After tea, the weather finally started to change. The clear blue sky started to cloud over and the weather began to cool. I got back to my new peg and put my rigs back on their spots. Meanwhile, the other end of the lake, Mike was onto an absolute flyer. He managed to catch 4 carp in a short space of time, one of them being an absolute monster. I got the call to wind my rods in and come down with the camera.
Right, and Mike, tell us about the red letter day that you're having.
£61.9. I've had a 48, a 22 and a 29. Look at the size of that.
That's a beast.
Eh?
Wow.
That is an absolute belter. Go on, girl.
Well done, Mike.
Wow, what a great carp that was. Absolute monster. This was actually the biggest fish in the lake. Bear in mind, we were there in July after spawning, so the fish were down in weight. The biggest this fish had been out is 77 pounds 4 ounce and was caught by Alan Wright pre-spawning. That's a huge difference of 15 pounds. Let's not forget about that beautiful dark 48 pounder. That alone would make most people's trips. It was definitely clear that Mike had the bigger fish in his area, and being as we was only halfway through the trip, so who knows what else was to come. I went back to my peg and got the rods back out. As the light faded, my left-hand rod was away. It was pitch black, so I used a head torch to be able to net the fish. It was another mirror weighing 37 pounds, and I was happy to have caught my 3rd fish. Being as I was fishing in clear spots in the weeds, and it was so dark, there was no way I could fish safely, so I decided to leave my rods in till first light.
As I woke up on day 5, the sun was shining and the lake was nice and calm. I could see there was some activity in my swim. The carp were rubbing themselves on the bottom, creating large clear areas that would glow amongst the weed beds. After having that fish in the night, it was time to get the rods out back on their spots. There wasn't as many carp in the shallows today as yesterday, but I saw enough activity to be confident of a bite or two. As morning turned to afternoon, my net stayed dry and the alarm stayed quiet. One thing I did notice though, as the weather cooled, the carp were on the move. By dinner time, the fish were grouping up in numbers and were all heading towards the deeper water. Looking from above, it was like a highway full of carp, all moving in the same direction. As a group of fish made their way out of the shallows, more and more would join the shoal. With so many carp heading towards the lads, if they were to find their bait and get on the feed, the action could be epic. Well, what a day's fishing it's been for the lads. This is the session you dream of back at home and the reason we all come to France. Unfortunately for me though, I was having a totally different experience. Fishing was slow, so I decided to move down a peg by the clubhouse. After finding 3 new spots, the bivvy set up and the rods back in the lake, it was time to try again.
Right then guys, I'm not going to lie to you, I am struggling this side of the lake. It's the shallow half of the lake. I've pretty much been dotting around the last couple of days, and you know, I can nick the odd fish here and there, but they are bagging up in the deep part of the lake down the bottom there, like bagging up. I can see Peng over there just putting one back now. Mike's had loads, John's had loads, John's lost a few as well. I just feel a million miles away from him, but I'm just going to have to keep grafting and hopefully I can get another one. The wind has changed again and it's coming towards me. It's overcast, so it's not got that heat in the sun that it did have when all the fish was this end. So that's the reason I moved in the first place. It would be silly not to, because this side of the lake was just rammed with fish. It was quite quiet down there at the time as well. And obviously, once that wind changes direction, the fish have gone down there and have stayed down there. And you know, they've got straight on that bait and they are absolutely bagging up. I've lost count how many 40s they've had, so I need to try and see what I can do to get into some of that action as well. I am actually going down to Mike and John's peg later for a social after tea. We're going to have a few drinks tonight. And there's a little bay there and they said just bring 2 rods down there, like, and stick it in the bay. It's the peg next door. Because there's not much footage of the fish that they've been catching, because I'm at the opposite end of the lake and I can't get down there to do any filming. The first day wasn't too bad when I was on Pengy's peg, because he could watch the rods. I'd jump in the van, get round there, did a little bit of filming, helped him out with some bits and bobs. And also when Mike caught that 61 pounder, he says to me, get down here mate, he says this is a mega one. So I just reeled my rods in that time when I was at the, you know, furthest points away I could be. Got down there and, you know, it was well worth it, because you don't catch a 61 pounder every day, do you? So yeah, I'm just gonna have to keep myself in the game and see what I can do, like, but I definitely need a bit of a luck change. I'm way behind at the moment, like, and you know, we've all been here. I don't particularly like moving. I've moved twice and there's an option to move one more time. There's a caravan swim down there and that fishes the same area of the lake that the other lads are fishing. Part of me's telling me I should be there for the daytime, just take the rods and the seat there. At the same time, I'm thinking, like, I've done my moving. I just want to just, you know, chill out, try and get something going. Because when you move, like, even though we're here for a week, if you're just doing like 48 hours in a swim, you're not getting anything going. Like, you know, you're getting the odd fish off each swim, but you're not getting anything going. And, you know, there's only 48 hours left of the trip. So it'd be nice if I get this area, you know, rocking a little bit, because I have put a bit of bait in. If the fish turn up here, like, we're happy days, but I don't think they're here at the moment, like. Also, this peg has got like little bit of a swamp behind me, which means it's mozzie central, and they've been biting me. We've all been bit, like, ain't too nice, but you know, you just got to get on with it. Hopefully this cloud breaks up a little bit and the sun comes out, and then, you know, get a nice suntan, see if we can try and bag 1 or 2 today, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do tomorrow, whether I'm just going to go 1 more peg down. I'll leave the bivvy in this swim. I'll come and sleep the night here. I'll just go and take the rods down there for the day if I am moving. But I'm hoping that this swim will turn on at some point. Well, it's been a quiet day where everyone's been having the fun. I had to do a move because the fish had moved out the top end of the lake. So I've moved a bit closer down. There's not loads of fish around here, but I have seen a couple, and I managed to get one. There's one there. 31-pounder. Crinkle-tailed. Right, it's getting back. It's just getting dark now, so I might have my rods in for the night now. Try and catch another one first light. So after a good night's sleep, I woke up early to a lovely red sky. Catching that fish yesterday put me in a little dilemma though. There was still fish in the area, but it was obvious that the bulk of the carp were further down the lake. After contemplating yet another move, I decided to stay put, as I was fairly confident I could catch 1 or 2 more from this spot. Mike and John's peg was still rocking as Mike woke up to a lovely mid-30 mirror. With the carp still on the feed in the deeper water, both Mike and John's afternoon was to be action-packed. A new PB was coming John's way as they both managed to pick out the bigger fish. Congratulations to John for getting a new PB of 42 pounds and 2 ounce. And also a big congratulations to Peng for getting his 3rd PB of the trip at 45 pounds 10 ounce. It's a good job I was fishing the other side of the lake, as they'd have both got a proper soaking. I also need to say that Peng caught a few more fish, but they wasn't pictured or filmed as I was the opposite end of the lake and there's no way I could have got round there to do anything. If you fancy a trip to Jurassica 2 and you're worried about fishing in weed, then don't be, because there's loads of clear spots to fish in. I actually like the weed and I try and fish as close to it as I can because the carp love it and they spend most of the time in there. It was only at night, when I was on the other side of the lake on my own, that I worried about the weed. And for the fish safety, I decided not to fish the nights. People might think I'm mad, not taking the opportunity to fish more hours, but even on Mike and John's peg, where they fish day and night, they didn't actually catch that many during the hours of darkness. And being as it was July, it's only dark for like 5 hours, pitch black. And you know, not fishing 5 hours out of 24, you're not missing out on much, to be fair. Watching the carp in the weed reminded me of a Terry Hearn video when he's trying to catch the little grey. Terry would boat out on a little dinghy, putting little PVA bags of casters on clear spots that were surrounded by big walls of weed. He said in the video that every time he boated over the spot, the carp would pop their heads out of the weed and kept an eye on him. You should check out this video on ESP's YouTube page. It's called Little Grey and it's a great watch.
After a very quiet 24 hours, I knew I had to move again and make the most of my last day. The caravan swim hadn't been fished all week and there were fish all over the area. I packed up my gear and headed down there, leaving my bivvy behind to sleep the night. Using a throwing stick, I spread a kilo of boilies around the area, and my hook bait was a Baitworks Royal Marine bottom bait straight out of the bag. Luckily, I didn't need to wait long.
Well, another day and another move. I was nowhere near the fish down there in that spot, so I've moved opposite of Peng, and I've been here about an hour and a half, and straight away you can see all the fish are in front of you. They've been topping, so I've spread a few boilies out, and one's gone and had it. Smallest of the trip so far, £22, but that's a right battler. That's given me the hardest fight out of the all the fish I've caught. And Peng said something similar as well. He said the little ones proper give you a scrap compared to the bigger ones.
L'âme en peine, il vit mais par la peine. Il attend devant cette photo d'antan. Il n'est pas fou, il y croit c'est tout. Il la voit partout, il attend debout. Une rose à la main, à part elle il n'attend rien.
Well, it turns out getting a bite wasn't going to be a problem today. My rod was off again. Unfortunately though, during the fight, I got cut off. To make things worse, I got another bite soon after, and that fish also got cut off. With my third bite within an hour, I was hoping that this time luck would be on my side and I wouldn't get cut off again.
Oh, get in. Look at that. £30 too. Persistence paid off today, I think. After getting cut off twice in a row, that same rod went again. It was a nervous battle. He was trying to take me to the same place where I got cut off. Just give him a bit of time. I didn't want to bully him too much. I didn't want him going through whatever's out there that's cutting me off. Managed to get it in. Absolutely made up. My luck is changing. Right, I'm back from dinner now. Sonny's just done us a nice mixed grill, which is absolutely bang on again. The food this week has been amazing, and you know, even the desserts spot on. You cannot fault the food, and he's a nice bloke, Sonny, and the service has been great all round. So I've got About 3 hours now till it starts to go dark. My bivvy's on the other peg from yesterday, so I'm not going to fish tonight. So what I'm going to do now, I've got 3 hours. I want a bag of 40 before the end of this trip. Try and get 40 on the board. And I've just put the last key of boilies out. Some bait works, raw marine. And I'm just going to hope I've got 1 or 2 bites left on this peg. And then I'm going to pack all my rods up, all my chairs and all that. And then in the morning, got to get up early doors and then get the bivvy packed up. And get around Peng's swim for 8 o'clock. So we can load up as well, have a shower, hit the road. Right, wish me luck. Well, I've left it to the last minute. I've just put the sling away and the scales. Literally, the rods are coming in any second. And the right-hand rod went. Nah, he's a banger. I'm not going to go and get the scales out. I'm not even going to wait, but that feels over 30 pounds to me. Big chunky. Right, I need to get him back. Check that out. What a way to finish.
What do you say about that?
I know, yeah. Wow.
Well, my fishing was done and dusted. Throughout the day, I managed to get 5 bites, landing 3 fish. It goes to show, if you can get on the fish, they're not that hard to catch. With all my rods packed up, I went down to the lad's peg for one last time. As I got down to Mike's swim, it was the perfect timing. His rod was away again and I managed to film his last fish of the trip. Mike's week had been a session of a lifetime, managing to catch 2 of the biggest fish in the lake with multiple other big carp to back them up, finishing with this lovely dark 30-pounder. It was our last evening in France, so we had a couple of drinks to celebrate a great week's fishing. To see us off, we had a little visitor. Mr. Koipu was back, and he definitely wasn't being shy tonight, as I think he had a taste for Mike's bait. Yes, hello Mr. Koipu. You come for some bait? Yeah. Have a look at this, John. He's hitting the tyres with the light.
He's eating my bait out the thing, yeah.
Well, that was the end of our trip and we all had a great time. I had my struggles trying to chase the carp around the lake, but it all came good in the end. Peng managed to catch 1 more in the morning before we packed away. Please can I ask, if you like this video, that you subscribe and comment down below. I only do these videos to capture the memories of our trips. We don't have a massive budget or camera crew like the bigger channels. These actually cost me money to make, so a little bit of feedback would be much appreciated. I know I haven't uploaded many videos recently. I've been renovating my house and it's been taking up all my spare time. But I have managed to get out a few times fishing the lake behind me. But to be fair, it's kicking my arse a bit. But you know, each time I come here, I'm learning and I'm hoping this year I've worked it out a bit more and I'm going to catch a few. It might be worth looking on the Jurassica 2 Facebook page for recent updates, as the lake has changed since we made this video. Sonny is consistently working on improving the lake, and I think the shallow end has been dug out to make the area bigger. On our way home to the ferry, we bumped into the lads from Fresh Fishing. They were friendly lads and told us about their trip. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.
So not long after speaking to camera on my campaign water, my rod was away, so I thought it's the perfect place to share it.
Look at that. £26, second carp at the venue. Absolute cracker. I made up with 3 bites in one session, 24 hours. Looks like I'm starting to get a bit more luck on this place. Give me a right good fight as well. Luckily Alex was there to give me a hand. Right, let's get it back.
Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll be back in the future.
These days go too fast for me to limit all my decisions. Created the box, how I am living is by my own cause. Want to feel